Welcome back to my channel. So we are going to be doing a Easter DIY or a spring DIY, however you want to say it. We are going to be making hopefully what ends up being a large bunny butt. So this bunny butt, if it comes out the way that I'm hoping, will be something that you could use for a wreath embellishment. I plan on using mine on my seasonal Easter spring tree that I keep here in the dining room here at the farmhouse. So I don't think this is going to be anything expensive. This is definitely going to be something that I'm hoping will end up being really easy. And so let me go ahead and show you some of the supplies that I have. So I picked up this fleece. It's this white plush fleece. This came from Walmart. This is 1.5 yards. I do not remember how much I paid for this. I think it was maybe like between maybe like $5 to $8. I'm not 100% sure. So this is what I'm going to be using, obviously, to make the big bunny booty, and I possibly will use it again for the little bunny puffy tail, and then of course I'm going to be cutting out some feet as well using all of this material. I am going to be using some fluff, obviously, to fill my bunny booty. These are some old Valentine's pillows that I have. I made these years and years and years ago. I do not like them. So I'm recycling them. I'm just gonna rip them apart and take the fluff and stuffing that I have in them out to use that. Obviously, you're going to need some scissors. And then the way I am making mine is I'm going to be using a needle and thread, not a sewing machine. I'm just gonna hand stitch for the bunny booty as well as the bunny tail, and then I'll do like a loose stitch, you'll see, and then I'll pull it to gather it up. So other than that, you obviously are going to need a hot glue gun to make all the attachments. Now, the feet are a totally different story. I say that you don't need a sewing machine, and you really technically don't. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I didn't make one of these previously. I don't typically do that. Usually when I do these DIY crafts, I just kind of create them as I'm going with you guys. So it's gonna be a little trial and error for me, but you can learn from maybe what I'm doing, or you can learn from the mistakes that I'm making. If I find easier ways to do things after I've already done it, I will make sure that I let you know. But in my head right now, I'm thinking that I may sew the feet, but you also could use glue, so I'm not 100% sure. So I guess don't scratch out a sewing machine if you have one. But this is definitely something that could be done without a sewing machine for sure. So the first thing that I'm going to do, you guys, is I am going to just cut out a big old circle, what I think that I want the size for the bunny booty, and then I'm gonna cut it out of this fleece. Okay guys, so I got my circle cut out. This stuff does make a mess. I have got black pants on and they are covered in white lint now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start out by placing a very loose, if you will, straight stitch along the edge. Probably going to make from point to point, maybe 1 inch. And all I'm doing that for is because once I get that placed all the way around, I will then pull it. After, of course, I stuff it, I will pull it, and that will gather my material together. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I am going to be using this upholstery thread. It just came from Walmart. It's a thicker thread, and so because I'm going to be pulling my stitch in to close up the bunny booty, I thought that I should go with something a bit stronger. It's going to be a little time consuming just because I'm working with such a long piece of thread. But just something, just in case you don't know what I typically do, you can see I've got the ends of my thread. I have already threaded my needle, and I just use like a regular all-purpose size needle. So I've got that threaded and doubled up in there, and at the very end, what I do is I just wrap it around my finger maybe 4 or 5 times, and then I kind of take it and twist it and kind of turn it, if you will, in my finger, just like this. You can see I'm almost rubbing it, almost about to rub it off, and when I feel like I've got it good and twisted enough, I kind of let go and pull. It'd be hard to see, but if you can, I have created a knot. So I have always done my knots at the end of my thread like this forever. I just think it's a really easy way. Not sure if you guys do this or not. Let me know in the comment section if this is what you do as well. So now what I'm going to be doing is just taking my material, and I'm just going to be starting. This material doesn't seem to have a right side. I think both sides are pretty much the same. So I guess it depends on what what kind of material that you are using. But if it does have a good side and like an underside, make sure that your knot is on the side that you do not want exposed. So I'm gonna go ahead and just begin. I'm just going to take my needle and just put it on through the edge, as close to the edge, not too close because you don't want it to like fall out, if you will. So I'd say I probably started mine about a ½ inch in, and then I'm just going to pull it. Okay, so I've just pulled it through. I've gotten to the end, and then what I'm going to do, this is gonna be very time consuming for me because I think I made my like thread like exceptionally too long, but yeah, it's okay. So what I'm gonna be doing now is probably going maybe, I'm gonna say an inch in away, and like I said, it's just a straight stitch, and I'm going to be pulling that all the way through. So I'm going to continue this process all the way around my circle. And then when I get back around to where I started, I will get back to you guys and kind of show you the next step in the process. So now like I said, I've got my straight stitch going all the way around to the circle. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my thread, the end of my thread, and I am going to pull it some, just to kind of go ahead and continue getting it to pucker up, if you will, to kind of close that circle, not all the way, but I don't want it to be just flat, because if we have it flat, we're not going to have anywhere, our stuffing will just be difficult. So I'm kind of making it almost like a bag, if you will, as you can see. So there it is. You can see there is the hole. I'm going to work now on going ahead and using and stuffing this as full as I want it. I'm gonna want mine pretty full so that it makes sure it sticks out pretty good. So I will get back to you as soon as I have this stuffed. Okay guys, I got my bunny butt totally fluffed up, and it did require quite a bit of fluff in my case. And as you can see, I got a pretty big old bunny butt. In the back here, I just want to show you this. I have pulled my stitch pretty tight. You can see I've got a little bit of an opening. Be careful when you are pulling though. This is why I chose to use that stronger thread, because as you are fluffing it and as you are pulling it, I mean, if you don't have a strong thread, or if you're pulling too hard, then it can break, and that would be such a pain. So I have got mine pulled pretty good, about as much as I'm gonna pull. And so what I'm going to do now is I am just going to stitch it together to kind of fill in that hole so that it will be reinforced. Like I said, I'm going to be reinforcing this with some hot glue as well, I think. Okay guys, so I have my bunny booty all sewed up and gathered in, as you can see. I will be using this nice side to place my little tail as well as my feet. This side will not matter because it will be, in my case, it's going to be facing into the tree, so you'll never see it. Next step that I did was I cut out 4 bunny feet patterns. Now, how I did this, I don't have a PDF or a template to share with you guys, but all I did was kind of just used my eyes, but I also did Google, I think like bunny feet template, And you can probably find things. I know that I pulled up some PDFs that are probably, I didn't check all of them, but I'm sure you can find some that are free. You could print them out and then use something to trace around the material and cut it out that way. What I ended up with. Now these are not perfect by any means, but I think once it's all said and done, you will understand that it is supposed to be bunny feet. Right now it kind of looks just like a blob. It almost looks like a duck foot or a dinosaur foot. So it's hard to show you guys. I will be honest with you guys. This fleece material that I purchased from Walmart, if you can find another material that's thicker, I'm going to highly recommend that, because this fleece that I purchased from Walmart is extremely thin. It is making such a mess and it is very, very hard to work with. So that is my tip for you. Okay guys, so I just wanted to show you what I did. So I took my 2 pieces of bunny feet and I just glued around the edges and placed them back to back. I left a small section unglued. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to kind of turn it inside out. Hopefully this works okay. And I'm hoping too that I made my bunny feet big enough. But I'm going to turn them inside out to kind of give me a nicer edge, if you will. Like I said, hopefully this works out. I'm working on that right now. And they're not perfect, I know that. But I think they'll be good enough, like I said. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, let me see here. I will never ever buy this cheap fleece from Walmart again though. Let me just tell you that. I highly recommend you getting a different fleece. I know I've said it once, but I'm telling you again. Okay, so I'm just kind of using my finger to kind of make sure I push my bunny toes out. And this is what, glue on there. This is what I'm ending up with. A little bit pointier there, but I can adjust that. So now with my opening that I have down here at the bottom, I am going to use my fluff again, and I'm just going to fluff up my little bunny feet, which I think that will help with the rounding of my little toes here. And then after I get them completely fluffed up as much as I want, I'm going to just finish up and glue that last little bit down. So I'll be back to you in just a second. I did not like the original shape of the bunny feet that I was making. Remember how I kind of showed you and I was like making fun of the fact that it kind of looked like a duck foot? So after I got the material inside out and I stuffed it, I kind of held it up against my bunny booty and I was just not feeling it at all. However, you may like it kind of like with the kind of like toe little cutout. But like I said, I feel like it looks like a duck. So what I did was I just went back through and basically almost made kind of like a little bit of an odd shaped oval, if you will, and glued this all together, stuffed them up, and I'm a lot happier. Obviously right now they don't look like they're going to turn into bunny feet, but once I put the pink felt on that I'm going to be gluing on, you'll understand it. So that is actually what I'm going to work on right now. So if you kind of do what I do and you kind of make this little odd shaped, I feel like an oval is the best way to describe it. You're gonna have probably a little bit of a more narrow end and then a wider end. The narrow end is going to basically be the heel, and that is what you are going to be placing facing up on the bunny booty. So I am going to go ahead and cut out some circles out of pink felt, and I'm going to glue them down. Like I said, if you need some inspiration as you are doing this, take to Google, take to Pinterest. You will find stuff like this all day long. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to put 3 circles in here, and then of course 1 bigger circle ovally shape for the heel. So let me get those cut out, let me get them glued onto the feet, and then I will be back with you. Okay guys, so I wanted to show you my bunny feet. I've got the felt all up on them. So see, now, I guess I should put them like this. Now they look like bunny feet. Aren't they cute? I think they're cute. Obviously this is a craft, this is a DIY, and they're not supposed to be perfect. This is definitely not store-bought looking stuff, but I think it gives them character, so it's cute. So I will tell you that I was looking at my bunny butt, and I'm thinking, after looking at some other pictures for inspiration, I think that I've got too much of just a round shape here. So I feel like I need to kind of tuck in a portion of the bottom. If you kind of look at pictures, like I said, for inspiration, I need it to look more like, kind of like this, almost like this, and then the feet will go right here. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think honestly, because you're not going to see this underside, I am just probably going to, there's Maggie. She has to get all up in here. Anyway, yes, Maggie, everybody sees you. You are loved. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on trying to get this to take more of a shape like that, like I said. And how I'm going to do that is, I actually think I'm going to just sew it. So I'm just going to, on the other side here, I'm going to take some of my material right here and just bring it up and attach it up in here. Remember, you won't ever see this side of the bunny booty. So that way it will give it more of that shape that I'm looking for. So I'm not sure if that's something that we could have done before, like during the initial process of making it. Maybe you guys will figure it out after watching my video, but there you go. So let me work on that and I will get back with you. I'm also gonna go ahead and attach the feet. Okay guys, so I have my bunny booty kind of situated a little bit more now, and see what I mean about that shape. Just creating just that little bit of like a dip right there, I think made a lot of difference. At least it did to me. It's not much of a difference, but it's just enough. So I attached my feet just with hot glue. So now I'm going to work on doing the little tail. All I'm going to do for the little tail is I just have a smaller circle, and I'm basically going to be doing the exact same thing that I did for the bunny booty itself. I'm just going to be making a very loose stitch all the way around the circle, fluffing it, pulling it, and then just hot gluing it up here towards the top. It's as if the bunny were basically digging down into whatever you place it in, whether you use it in a wreath or whether you use it on a tree. Like I said, like that's what I plan on doing with it. So I think this is gonna be really cute once it's said and done, and you can see how big it is. It would be very hard to find something like this size in a store or even on Etsy. Most of the time you're gonna find them and they're gonna be a lot smaller than this. Obviously this would be way too big for obviously a wreath, but you can still do this very inexpensively for whatever size that you need. So let me get back with you when I have the bunny booty completely finished. Okay guys, so I've got my bunny booty DIY finished. But before I show you how it looks in my tree, I just wanted to show you it first of all. Isn't that so stinking cute? It is just perfect. I am super pleased with the way that it turned out. I'd say that it was fairly easy. I think the part that was probably the most difficult was just, like I said, it was just using this kind of cheaper fleece. It was kind of messy, and because it was so thin, it was a little bit flimsy and a little bit difficult to like cut in particular. But of course you see that I got the kinks worked out, like I changed my bunny feet and stuff like that. So now hopefully you guys will be able to learn from some of the mistakes that I started to make. But overall, I'm really pleased with it. So I thought I would give you a little bit of bonus in this Easter spring DIY. I thought I would go ahead and make some big old bunny ears to place at the top of my tree. kind of making it, I like to do explosive tree toppers on all of my seasonal trees. So I thought, what better way to, you know, explode, but with some big old bunny ears. And so all I did so far is, and this is gonna be, I know this is gonna be pretty simple, is I took my material, that white fleece again, and I folded it in half, and I cut a half, basically a half of a shape of bunny ear. So let me show you to you unfolded. Very, very easy. I mean, it's just like almost like a huge leaf shape, if you will. And I think folding it, the material in half, and cutting half of it out that way makes it even on both sides. And so I'm finding that that is definitely the way to go. So I'm actually going to go ahead, I've got 2 so far. I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 more out. And then I am going to, I'm gonna go ahead and stuff these a bit too, but I've got some other things that I wanna do to it before I do that. So let me get back with you when I've got my other ones cut, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue them together just like I did with the bunny feet. I'm not gonna worry about sewing them or anything like that. Just kind of glue them together, but I'm not going to glue the very bottom because that's the part where I'm gonna use to stuff. But before I do the stuffing, I've got couple more things to do to it. So let me get back with you. But I also cut out smaller bunny ear shapes out of some pink felt. I'm going to be gluing this down in the center. And what I'm gonna do also though, is I found some floral, these are like floral wires. They're not super thin, they've got a little bit of substance to them. And I'm going to glue one of these in between my white material. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it'll give it some form, and I'll be able to bend one of the ears down a little bit, if you will. Gluing down the side. I think that's cool, yeah. And there I have it. Pat that down. I glued my pink felt down first before I stuffed this one, but I had to rip it off because it was just like puckering the felt. So my suggestion to you is get it stuffed first and then glue your pink inner ear felt down. All right guys, so I realized as I was editing this video for you that I totally deleted the footage where I actually showed you the completely finished project and showed you on my tree. Now I know at the beginning of the video, the very first, you've seen like a clip of the whole entire Easter tree that I did, and you know, it went into the DIY. So I just wanted to make sure that I came to you again. I want to show you exactly how the bunny booty turned out and exactly how those bunny ears turned out and how I placed them on my tree. So let's look. Guys, so here it is. Here is the 100% completed bunny booty. However, I actually have another idea. I don't think that I'm going to do it this year because I already have it placed on my tree. But I saw somewhere, I don't know if it was on Pinterest maybe, I'm not sure, but somebody had something kind of similar to this, but they had like black stitches, you know, on the little pink felt heel and then little toes. It was just a couple of them, kind of like here and here. It looked really cute. So I thought maybe that I would do that possibly next year, or, you know, whenever I take it down, I could either do it with, I could actually, maybe very carefully glue some black yarn to make it look like stitches, or I could maybe use just like maybe like a puffy paint. I'm not sure, but I just thought that looked really cute. However, I also like the way that mine turned out too. So as you can see, I totally use this as a really big embellishment on my Easter tree. I have a whole entire video where I decorated this Easter tree and filmed it for you guys. If you guys are interested, I recommend you to watch that because the tree turned out so stinking cute this year. But you can see there's that big old bunny booty. And then I did place this super cute little pink butterfly on the bunny booty as well. I just thought that was another fun little detail. And then the bunny ears completely completely turned into something different than I originally intended. I originally intended just to use the bunny ears just by themselves, but I was having a hard time placing them on the top of the tree. And matter of fact, I think I say that in that Easter decorate the tree with me video. So what I ended up doing was, even though I absolutely love the way that they turned out, they're so big and fun, they're the perfect size, I had that top hat. It was left over from something that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I think it's originally intended to be a snowman top hat, but I never used it for Christmas, and so I decided to go ahead and turn it into an Easter bunny top hat. So you can see there's putting my super cute, big, fluffy, puffy ears that I DIY to good use. I did, of course, add that bow in the middle, and I just think it turned out so stinking cute. So I'm super pleased with the way that my DIYs turned out. So guys, that is it for my bunny booty and bunny ears DIY tutorial. I hope that you guys found some inspiration to create your own DIYs for Easter. I'd say that these were both fairly easy crafts, a little bit time consuming in the fact that you have to make that stitch all the way around. But if you are making a smaller bunny booty, smaller than what I did, obviously it would take a lot less time. But I'm super pleased, I'm super excited. There's no way that I would have been able to find what I was looking for in the size that I needed. So this is a very inexpensive craft. You get a lot of bang for your buck though. And so I highly recommend you guys to make some as well. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section. I try my best to explain myself as I'm doing these DIYs, but because I'm doing them for the first time with you guys, I have lots of errors, and I always try to point that out. So anyway, I hope you were able to follow along. I hope you had some fun if you created with me. I would love for you guys to join my YouTube family if you haven't already done so. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell to be notified of any future videos. And if you enjoy crafting, especially Easter crafting and spring crafting, and you're ready for spring, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel out a lot. Share it with your friends, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.